How to make Ding Tai Fung's spicy shrimp and pork wontons at home. If you got all the ingredients ready, it could be done in 30 minutes. Start by chopping some scallions, onions, shrimp. You can do all that in a food processor if you want. Ground pork, add in soy sauce, sesame oil, sugar, chicken bouillon, Chinese 5-spice, grated garlic and ginger. Add in the shrimp and 1 egg. Mix together. I always microwave a scoop to taste before making the wonton. To make the wontons, wet the edges with water, 1½ teaspoon of filling. Just bring all the edges together in the middle to close. The sauce, chili crisps, grated garlic and ginger, soy sauce, black vinegar, sugar, scallions, and sesame seeds. Cook the wontons for 4 to 5 minutes until they're floating on top. Drain and serve with the sauce on top. For recipes on my website, follow for more Asian dishes recipes.
This is one of my favorite dishes my dad made. Growing up as a restaurant kid, my dad worked long hours, and holidays don't exist in the restaurant world. Those are the busiest days. But on the occasions when he was home, he always made his presence known. He would bust out this huge multiplication poster for impromptu math quizzes, lecture me in Chinese about improving my Chinese, spray rubbing alcohol for any ailment I had, or make me stare at the grass outside because he said green is good for eyesight. It took some time before I realized that through these goofy habits, he was always looking out for me, spending the little free time he had helping to prepare me for my own life after leaving home. On his rare days off, he would make this, chao niangao, or stir-fried rice cakes, quickly stir-fried with pork or beef, Chinese vegetables, and slivered chewy rice cakes with savory sauce. And while I didn't see my dad often growing up, this dish always brings back those moments that seemed goofy, but also showed how thoughtful he was. It's why
tomato egg is one of my absolute favorite meals. And thankfully, it's one of the easiest to prepare. Every Chinese family makes tomato egg a little differently, but this is how my parents make it. We're gonna start by sauteing some ginger until you see a little bit of browning around the edges. And then we're gonna add some chopped up Roma tomatoes. Season with salt, white pepper, chili flake or powder, some sesame oil, and then lastly some oyster sauce. Give it a stir and just let it cook down. After a few minutes, it'll look beautifully jammy. Pour in your cornstarch slurry and let it thicken up. Okay, time to add the eggs. Pour the eggs over the tomatoes and don't stir right away. Let them set for a few minutes and then gently stir to break up the eggs. I also added some green onions too. I think this is best served with a heaping island of steamed jasmine rice. The silky, gravy-like tomato egg hugs the rice, making every bite extra cozy and comforting. I could eat this every day.
Hi, we're making mini kimbap today. Slice some spam, cook it, then cook 2 eggs, cut it into little strips. Stir fry some carrots, blanch spinach, then add sesame oil and salt to it. Mix your rice with salt, sesame oil, and sesame seeds. Tear your seaweed into 4 pieces like this. Add rice, leave some room at the top, spam, egg, carrots, spinach, then roll it all up, baby. Some water at the tip will help it stick together. Brush some sesame oil on the top and add sesame seeds. And there's your mini rice rolls. So cute and so delicious.
Put your rice paper in the triangles, test your oil, make sure it's ready, and fry just one at a time. Shake off the excess oil and put it on a paper towel. Now you'll need sashimi green salmon, Japanese mayo, sriracha, a little sugar, and fine fish roe. And now add your salmon right on top. Now listen to the crunch.
I don't think you have any idea how insane this is. Spicy garlic butter pasta, let's go. Salt your boiling water and cook your pasta. In a separate pan on low heat, add your olive oil and garlic slices until they're crispy and golden and set aside. Add a knob of butter to your garlic oil, chili flakes, oyster sauce, soy sauce, and give it all a mix. 3 minutes before your pasta is al dente, transfer it over to the pan. You want to finish cooking it off here. Add some pasta water, give it a toss, then go in with your chives and parmesan and give it another toss until evenly coated. Then all you've got to do is serve it up with some some sesame seeds. This is completely optional, but you can use some crispy chili oil like I did, and do not forget about your crispy golden garlic chips. Now this is the time for you to do the slurp slurp.
So ridiculously good.
And if it doesn't make you feel like this, you are lying, because
when I was a kid, both my parents were working full-time, so one of the hacks my mom used to feed 3 hungry kids was buying those big, inexpensive sushi platters from Sushi Boy. Towards the end of the meal, the only thing that was left was California rolls, and so I grew up really hating them. Weirdly enough, in my adulthood, I've grown to really like California rolls, and now I think that imitation crab is one of the most underrated things out there. So I regularly make this California roll bowl to scratch that itch. The hardest part about this is just setting aside the 15 to 20 minutes to let the cucumbers marinate in some rice vinegar, sugar, water, and soy sauce, and the rest is just assembly. One tip is to use that cucumber marinade and sprinkle it over the entire bowl so that you get some of that tanginess throughout. Then I just top with some furikake, mayo, and I serve with some sheets of seaweed. You can definitely dress this up or down a little bit more depending on how you like it, but this is how I eat it most of the time. And the best part is you never actually have to use a stove.
Cooking 15-minute dinner for 15 days. 1 pound of pork. You're gonna cut the pork into thin strips. The pork, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, dash of white pepper, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch together. Slice up 8 shiitake mushrooms. Slice up half a cabbage. Shanghai noodles today, but if you can't find it, you can also use udon. 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1.5 tablespoon of dark soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 teaspoon of sugar, also half a cup of chicken stock. Together, some oil to medium high. On the top, we're gonna add in our cabbage. We're gonna layer on the pork, on the mushroom, add in your noodles, on sauce, on it. We're gonna let it cook for 6 to 8 minutes. After 6 to 8 minutes, most of the sauce should be reduced, and we're gonna start mixing everything together. High, saute together on high heat for 2 to 3 minutes. I highly recommend it. I like to drizzle in some homemade chili oil.
Now look at that.
I ate these all the time in Hawaii, and I'm going to show you how to make it. So first we're going to make a marinade of equal parts soy sauce and sugar, and you want to cook that down until it's reduced and caramelized. Next we're going to use a can to cut out the layer of eggs, and then we're going to make the mold with the can and plastic wrap. So you want to use short or medium grain rice, which is sticky. Pack that in really well. Add some furikake seasoning, add the egg, Spam, then finish off with a layer of seaweed. And here we have Spam musubi.
It's that time of the month. I need to make Mr. He some egg drop soup.
Yeah, I need comfort food too.
Measure some chicken stock or vegetable stock with your serving bowl. So you won't make too much soup. Once simmering, stir in the cornstarch water. Use a spoon to drizzle the eggs into the boiling soup. I prefer large egg flowers, so I don't stir the soup until I add salt, white pepper, and sesame oil. Decorate with green onions. So what's your favorite comfort food for that time of the month?
Pad Kapow. This is my go-to dish to make when I'm running short on time and need to whip up something that's super tasty and takes little to no effort to make. To get started, pound Thai chilies, garlic, and shallots in a mortar and pestle. Now for the sauce, combine light soy sauce, dark soy sauce, fish sauce, oyster sauce, and palm sugar. In a ripping hot wok, fry an egg in some oil and remove. Now saute the aromatics until fragrant, then add in the ground pork and cook it until it changes color. Pour in the sauce and saute for another few minutes. At the very end, throw in some Thai basil or holy basil if you have it. Plate over a bed of rice and top off with the fried egg, and that's how you make